Salutations on all points of the triangle, and respect to the order. Brother Second Warden, what is the first duty of a warden of this lodge?
Most venerable master, it is to be assured that all the Masons present are sheltered from the indiscretions of the profane.
Brother Second Warden, would you assure yourself of the security of this lodge?
Brother Tyler, would you assure yourself that we are in security?
Brother Second Warden, the approach to the temple is deserted. Echoes fall to silence. The availability of our mysteries is assured. We are concealed from the profane artisan.
Most venerable master, the approach to the temple is deserted. Echoes fall to silence. The inviolability of our mysteries is assured. We are concealed, for the profane have departed.
Brother First Warden, what is the second duty of a warden of this lodge?
Most venerable master, it is to be assured that all present are good Masons, authentic and regular.
Brothers First and Second Warden, each to your column, assure yourselves of this, and give the account to me. My brothers, stand and face the Orient.
Brother First Warden, the brothers who stand beneath the column of the north are all Masons, authentic and regular.
Most venerable master, the brothers who stand beneath the columns of the north and the south are all Masons, authentic and regular.
I recognize the equality of all Masons, authentic and regular, who decorate the Orient. Brother First Warden, what is it that has brought you and me to be united in such a place as this?
Most venerable master, it is truth.
What is this truth?
It is to realize and understand that this temple, that is ours at this hour, is the same as the universal temple, known as the world, is assisted in this opening by the eternal architect, author of all that was, is, or will be, who also assists us in all our other labors.
By your language, my brother, I recognize you are a good and legitimate Mason.
Most venerable master, my brothers recognize it as such.
Brother Second Warden, where do you come from?
From old Egypt, most venerable master, a lodge of St. John,
How were you received in old Egypt?
by a three-part mystery, in the square and compass, most venerable master.
Brother First Warden, what is the foundation of the Temple of Wisdom in Egypt?
The mysterious numbers, most venerable master.
Brother Second Warden, what are the mysterious numbers?
The numbers 3, 5, and 7, most venerable master.
Brother First Warden, explain to your brothers what is hidden in these mysterious numbers.
Most venerable master, these three numbers and their sum constitute the essence of the mystery of our Lodge of Masons, the secret of entrance into our central chamber, and thus manifest the power of the grand architect of the universe. Because this is so, it constitutes the law of the essence of all that is. Wisdom, force, and beauty constitute the mysterious triunity.
Come to order, my brothers. Masons of Egypt, we have come here for the same reason, to erect in the land of Memphis an altar for virtue and dig a tomb for vice. But in accordance with ancient speech, we have also come in the quest of light. Ineffable wisdom, hidden God in the temples of Memphis, thou art the first light. O omnipotent force of the initial manifestation, thou art the second light. eternal beauty, who orders and harmonizes all throughout the universe, thou art the third light. This perfume, a sweet smell that appeases our souls and eases our passions, may its offering be symbolic of our offerings for others and elevate our hearts and our spirits. Grand Architect of the universe, Father of all things, whose will is accomplished through proper powers, you who were and are and will be for eternity, you who knows all and to whom all is revealed, you who constitute all that is by the word, you whose nature is beyond all images, but whose same nature forms every point, you who is strongest, most powerful, most great among kings, above all praise, receive thus, eternal Architect, the pure sacrifice of the words of our hearts and souls that ascend toward you with this incense, O inexpressible, ineffable, and only one, that none but silence can define. Permit only the point that we stray ourselves, instill in us your power, illuminate to your gnosis man who has once again fallen into the darkness of ignorance. Brothers of our race, your proper children, we believe in you and render to you homage. We, masons of the temples of Egypt, march toward you in light and within your light, since man, being a part of you, shares your holiness and light. And thus we ask that you place within us your power. Amen.
Amen.
My brothers, the foundation of our temple is installed, and this place is holy. Our time-honored labors are to be taken with equal reverence in our hearts. According to the ancient prophecies of Hermes, Egypt has become the widow of man and the gods. But we, as true and ancient masons of the land of Egypt, guarded preciously and conserve the wisdom of the land of Memphis. This is why, Lord of Truth, that every man knows you under so many diverse names, but we know you correctly as the grand architect of the universe, you who have spoken. I have created all the forms with my word, when there was neither land nor sky, receiving from that instant our homage. Enlighten our labors and dissipate the darkness that dilates the truth, in order to reveal to us thy perfect plan of eternal wisdom that governs the universe.
You who have spoken, I am the source of all existence and all that is. I am yesterday and will be tomorrow. Hail to you!
You who have spoken, I am eternity, the world, the seasons, all creation. I have for essence the good, the beautiful, the fine and veracious. Hail to you! Consider, my brothers, that what you see and hear in us is the word of a master. Meditate upon this under the light and arrive at an understanding.
Hail to you, Lord of eternity, whose names are many and forms mysterious. Support this temple with your force, and continue to allow your only children to remain in your light.
Osiris, robed in light, the color of the eternal pure principle, we celebrate your supreme harmony with hopes of participating with you in Amenti.
You whose knowledge reassembled the sacred word, maintaining it in your order and transmitting it with your initiates. Isis, whose habits are found persisting in the practices of the saints, whose singular aim is to obtain an understanding of the first and sovereign being, accessible as the single intelligence. The children of the royal art salute your ineffable beauty.
Isis, Divine Mother, whose veils are the numerous colors of the world, we communicate all through the sublime comprehension of the sacred art that you have revealed to man.
Here is the arcana of the gnosis, the one thing that your ears hear, your eyes see, and your heart understands. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord commanded the blessing, even life forevermore. My brothers, who has manifested the first mysterious numbers and the holy luminaries in the temple of wisdom of ancient Masons?
The most powerful master, called our venerable master, and the two perfect guardians, named wardens of labors.
Where is the venerable master found?
In the Orient, where all light and power emanate.
Why?
Because the Orient is the source of the first wisdom.
All light, all power, all life, and all wisdom emanate from the Orient. The venerable master reflects the omnipotent creator. This is why he is found in the lodge of the Orient, so he may enlighten the brothers, open the lodge, and pour forth the benefits of truth. Therefore, I am the Orient. Where are the two wardens found, and what are their offices?
The first warden sits at an angle to the column of noon. He gives the signal for work, aids the venerable master in his assignments, replacing him in cases of urgency, and developing the luminaries of apprentice masons towards a better comprehension of our holy mysteries. Thus, I am installed.
The second warden sits at the angle of the column of the north. He watches to maintain order, the perfect execution of labors, to foresee and transmit to the first warden any problems or difficulties that might arise, obtain equitable solutions, and to direct the studies of the apprentice masons. This I am installed.
Brother First Warden, what are the 5 mysterious numbers?
The 3 premier luminaries of the Temple of Wisdom of true and ancient Masons direct the labors of the Freemasons who are enlightened by the 5 points of the number of regeneration.
It is thus that 2 new columns have been added to the first 3.
Brother Second Warden, name them.
Most venerable master, they are the brother orator, guardian of the law, and the brother secretary, guardian of the archives and the tracing board.
Brother First Warden, what are the 7 mysterious numbers?
Most venerable master, the 7 great columns that support the Temple of Wisdom that are said to be just and perfect as long as the duty of Masonry remains active.
Brother Second Warden, announce this duty.
Most venerable master, it is to receive the donations of the brothers and give them for charity. It is the office of the brother treasurer, who is assisted by the brother almoner, who distributes the donations and gifts among the needy and sick.
And the seventh column is the brother inspector, instructor, and expert, whose charge is to time and regulate the rituals, the landmarks and the distance of the profane, so that the serenity of the work may be assured.
Since the temple is just and perfect, it only remains to declare open the sublime work of brotherhood.
Most venerable master, it is necessary that the brothers are of age required to commence labors.
Brother First Warden, what age are you?
3 years, most venerable master.
Brother Second Warden, what hour are the masons of Egypt accustomed to begin their labors?
When the sun culminates over the sands of Memphis, and it is noon, and the shade is the shortest, then do the masons of Egypt begin labors, most venerable master.
Since it is the hour, and we are of age, in the glory of the grand architect of the universe, in the name and under the auspices of the sovereign sanctuary of the ancient and primitive rite of Memphis Mizraim, and in virtue of the powers conferred in me by the Grand Master of the Order, I declare open this respectable lodge, known under the name of Mother of Abominations, to the Orient of Wagdas. In unison, my brothers, by the sign of the apprentice, let us celebrate this moment with the battery and acclamation. Liberté, fraternité, égalité, huzé, huzé, huzé. My brothers, we are no longer in the world of the profane. Our work confers the harmony of the universe, and without other aims than the glory of the eternal architect of the universe. Prosperity of true masonry and the happiness of all humanity.
My brothers, you have heard the voice of our venerable master. Our work is to be carried out with strength and vigor.
My brothers, you have heard the voice of our venerable master. Our work is to be carried out with strength and vigor.
Sister Master of Ceremony, to announce to our most venerable master that the Brother Grand Expert has brought 2 candidates for the degree of apprentice.
The Brother Grand Expert has brought candidates for the degree.
Be prepared accordingly.
But let them be prepared accordingly. Sir, welcome to our lodge. May I inquire of you why you desire to be made a mason?
I desire to be made a mason to further understand the mysteries of the order of which I am involved.
If you could meet anyone at any time and have a conversation with them, who would that be?
Meet anyone at any time.
Any person that's ever lived.
I would like to speak with Alice the poet for a few hours.
Do you fancy Arab boys?
Do you fancy heroin?
I've never tried it.
Would you try it?
Probably.
How much will you tithe to? How much will you tithe to this order?
The appropriate amount.
Is your father a mason?
No, it's not.
How were you directed here?
By the, how would I get it here? I met other members of this order.
How much money do you make?
32,000 a year.
Why do you wear those clothes?
I like them.
How much of that 32,000 do you give to charity?
None.
What is life?
Not death.
What is truth?
according to each individual,
What is love?
according to each individual,
Have you ever lied?
yes,
Are you lying now?
no,
Who are you?
my name physically, or who am I?
That's
spiritually?
not an answer to the question.
Okay, who am I? I am Diamond, the snake.
Who is Darren the snake?
Who is that? An aspirant unto the light.
Do you have any preconceived notions of what masonry is about?
Yes.
Would you explain a few of them to us?
My preconceived notions of masonry, I conceive of masonry as being a long, sought-out process where step by step an individual is led through a series of tests and initiation so that they can come to a greater understanding about what it means to be alive in this universe.
Have you ever stolen?
Yes,
What?
I have stolen money, I have stolen goods.
Why do you seek the light?
It is intrinsic to my nature.
What do you expect to find beyond the light?
I have no comprehension of that.
Do you believe in God?
Excuse me?
Do you believe in God?
I don't understand the concept of God. If God,
Then what is light?
excuse me?
Then what is light?
Light is the root of existence.
Therefore, once again, do you believe in God?
I believe in God as I define God.
And how do you define God?
I define God as that which is not.
In all openness and honesty, knowing this relationship you have with this arena.
I don't understand the question.
Where is your first loyalty?
Where is your sincerity?
To myself and to myself.
Therefore, what can you do for the lodge, and why should we admit you to our mysteries?
On the risk of sounding presumptuous and arrogant, I should be admitted into this lodge because I can do it justice.
Thank you. There are no further questions.
Most Venerable Master, the candidate has been retired to our office, awaiting instructions from the Brother Secretary. I now put his vote to the floor.
Those in favor of initiating this man into the secrets of our lodge, please signify. We have no opposition to this. None. So will it be. Please prepare the candidates.
To bring the next one? Yeah, do you want to interrogate the other
Yes.
profane first?
Who are you?
My name is Barton Woodside.
Why is he coming here?
I come here to become a Mason in my grandfather's tradition.
Your grandfather was a Mason, what lodge?
I'm not sure the lodge, it existed in Cleveland, Ohio, in the Grand Temple there. You didn't let me know much about it.
What right is Masonry?
The Ohio Grand Lodge is in Toledo, not Cleveland.
Hmm?
You said he was part of the Grand Temple in Cleveland, the Grand Temple in Ohio was in
Oh,
Toledo.
I misspoke myself. It was a large church on Detroit Avenue where he did George Washington every year. That's all I knew he did in that. And he was 33rd degree, that's all I know.
Sir, Masonry is not a religion. And these temples are not known as churches.
Oh. You never told me anything about it.
Do you have any preconceived notions of Masonry? Which you might have picked up from your grandfather or elsewhere?
Well, he was kind of pompous and opinionated. And my father, too. And he did George Washington very well. He showed me some pictures of that. And he used to like to swing me around the room like a billy club and bash my head off the furniture and things like that. So I got sort of the idea that it was something that people did as a pastime that didn't really change their lives much.
And this is why you have come.
No, I discovered some books in the attic once he didn't know I found, and I looked through the books and I saw some interesting pictures and read a few things that really looked interesting, and I wondered what those were about, and I wanted to find out more about that.
Have you ever lied?
Sure.
About what?
Name of subject. Probably everything at one time or another, depending upon how I thought my survival would be affected.
Have you ever stolen?
Yes.
What?
Not major that I remember.
Are you trustworthy?
Usually, unless my survival is really affected and I've lost faith in my leader.
How much money do you make?
Not enough. Right now, I'm working for free for a company that was started by a friend of mine. I'm looking for regular work as a program analyst, assistant government project manager, etc.
How old are you?
59 years old.
Do you belong to any other esoteric organization?
Yes, I belong to the OTO.
Are there any oaths you have taken in that organization which will prevent you from acting as a true and legitimate Mason in this lodge?
I'm not aware of any.
Why is your OTO towel in the center of your triangle upside down?
I'm not wearing a robe. Huh? Oh, you mean the real one? That was brought down?
Yes.
That's the way I was told to put it on. Hmm.
Do you believe in God?
What?
Do you believe in God?
Yes, I do. But not in the Christian sense.
In what sense?
In a higher sense, the tree of life is of some great interest for me, and I feel that God expresses itself in many ways. Some of those are described by the tree of life, and I think the Christian God is one of the lower forms.
Have you ever been divorced?
Yes, 3 times.
Do you feel yourself a failure
In marriage,
in anything?
somewhat in business life, yes, I seem to be lacking in business acumen to accumulate money and property so that I may have a comfortable life.
What is a king?
A king is a leader of the people who takes his authority from God and man.
Who is the king?
Who is a king?
Who is the king?
Are you a king?
I feel so. Although unrecognized.
Why do you wear what you do?
As I said, I feel I don't have enough business success to afford anything better.
Thank you. There are no more questions.
Okay.
I'll sue.
No, no. At this point, the hoodwink is removed and the candidate finds himself in a cabinet of reflection. In front of him are the three questions and a blank ledger. He is to meditate upon these questions and respond to them in writing. This record is a testament of the candidate's initial contact with Masonry and is kept in the lodge. The candidate should be instructed to knock once at the portal to let the grand expert know when he has completed the examination.
Most Honorable Master, the candidates of the voter secretary in the antechamber, you may now proceed to vote for an afternoon.
Well, as we're in favor of admitting this man to the secrets of our lodge, please signify in regular manner.
I would call into question his response to trustworthiness for consideration.
Most Honorable Master, I would point out the links that this man could possibly forward between that boy he said he belonged and he has his cowl on wrong.
I mean, is he going to wear the square encompasses?
His cow isn't done wrong, it's how he was instructed.
Right, yes.
Must the book be
Yes.
I can impress upon you. Having some knowledge myself of what the OTO is all about, it might be wise to allow him to experience some of the things we achieved for another.
who casts the first pearl?
Here is another consideration. Here is another consideration. Are we initiating him, or are we simply doing an exercise? If we say we will not initiate him, then we are declaring ourselves initiated. I don't think that we, as
That's empowerment.
right, I don't think we, as members who are at least in the fourth degree, can turn this fellow away. His mere invitation is signifying our intention to go through.
Right.
I again give him the vote.
Now let's cast the pearls.
Margarita, you have to ask.
Most Honorable Master, the first candidate is awakening in the custom manner.
We're starting with his knock on the door.
Just looks easier to read.
Who knocks at the door of the lodge?
It is a profane who asks to be accepted as a Mason,
Why does he dare to hope for this?
because he's a free man and of good motives.
In that case, allow the profane to enter, but I invite and encourage the assembled brethren to take precautionary measures.
Sir, before you is the portal of our lodge. This threshold is very low. Lower your head and bow down as you enter, for the threshold is very, very low.
Sir, the fraternity that you have demanded to be affiliated with, in confidence, is assembled here before you. Before you submit further to this ceremony of reception into our order, I demand that you keep secret all the names of the brothers and myself. Swear to this, so the ceremony may either continue or be stopped at this instant, that you will never reveal the name of any brother to a parent, spouse, sibling, child, confessor, enemy, or friend who is not known within the lodge when properly titled. Do you swear to this?
I swear.
Sir, within this ancient body of occult and alchemical knowledge, the Masons have conserved an ancient and very secret drug, composed of spoonfuls of certain herbs, picked at precise times in the lunar cycle, and worked and infused with certain other plants, and finally consecrated in the rite of eternity. This drug has the sole aim of depersonalizing you. Some weeks after its ingestion, inoffensive and unknown to your healthy physique, your personality will begin to dissolve. Imperceptible throughout the days, you will begin to become another person. Slowly but surely, the outstanding qualities that guide and conduct our order will begin to penetrate and substitute those of your will. Will totally substitute your will on the anniversary of your reception. You will be in accordance with this ancient and occult formula, what is similar to a walking cadaver. Do you consent to this death and your lodge passing?
I do.
Since it is so, Brother Grand Expert, give the neophyte a drop of oblivio. Sir, I congratulate you on your courage. Nevertheless, I must warn you that the ordeals that you will undergo are of a twofold nature, more subtle than immediately realized, and far more durable. It is therefore not only your physical courage that must be called upon, but also your audacious morality and inner constitution. You are upon the threshold that surmounts time, and from which there is no turning back. As the ancients have stated, there is nothing that has no cost. But you must ignore that which it costs. One more time, sir, do you wish to continue through this ceremony?
I do.
In that case, Brother Grand Expert, conduct the candidate on his first voyage.
My son, come with me.
Who have you there?
It is a profane who asks to be accepted as a Mason,
Why does he dare hope for this?
because he is a free man and of good motives.
Since it is so, he may pass, but only after being purified with water.
significance do you believe to have been made in this first of your journeys?
That the world is rife with problems, and I have no protection against them.
Sir, once again I tell you that all Masonic ceremonies are dualistic in nature, occurring also on the more subtle realms with hidden realizations and meanings. The journey that you have made actually began when you left the cabinet of reflection. It is symbolic of your first contact with the afterlife, first contact with the spiritual world that is immediately next to the material world. The turmoil, the obstacles that hinder your progress are merely images of all the things that oppose the liberation of man, the elevating from the grossness of the material plane and its infuriating passions. Equally, there is the lively representation of prejudice and the remedies and water hatred, direction of the mystical temple. Consider how this is symbolic of humanity, the entire of individuals who have been graced to partake of such sacred mysteries upon the premier portal and through the barrier which you gained access through persevering the first and necessary purification, that of water. You are now mundos. The other ordeals, physical and moral, that you will attend to upon your second voyage. Do you feel the strength to persevere throughout these affronts and never to regret those things which you must ordeal?
I do.
Since it is so, brother Grand Expert, conduct the neophyte on his second voyage.
My student, follow me.
Whom have you there?
It is a profane who hopes to be a Mason.
Why does he dare ask for this?
Because he is a free man and of good motives.
Since it is so, he may pass, but only after being purified with air.
Sir, what esoteric significance do you believe to have been made in this second of your journey?
I'm at a loss.
That's understandable. Sir, this voyage continues its series of natural purifications, but has sent the soul of man suddenly toward the divine. The successive shedding of the subtle envelopes that erode the divine spark that we call the soul. It is thus that you have arrived at the royal mediator, the middle path, where the heaviness of the sensual passions, symbolized by water, are forgotten, and where the higher ideals will, and how the sages believe, is symbolized by air. It becomes necessary for the desires of the flesh to die, so that the passions of the spirit may live, imperious and exacting. To become a sage, there must nothing that cannot be imagined. The only contingency is that all contrary thought must be subdued. No other belief, opinion, or thought will allow one to reach the total and supreme truth. Accepting a thought that is contrary or extraneous is similar to slavery, and it is here that we reaffirm a statement made by one of our order, Wolf family, or good. Nothing of the past alone deserves merit. It is only the eternally new, formed with the present elements, and amplified through the wisdom of the ancients, to arrive at a new and better creation. This simple truth is Masonic in entirety. The truth, the traditions, the unique regalia of the masters only provides aid for the individual's journey on the road to enlightenment and gnosis. As you travel on the road of ideal beauty, the path is very long and contains many ordeals. Do you still wish to continue and take the third voyage?
Yes, I do.
Since it is so, brother Grand Expert, conduct the candidate on his third voyage.
Rest yourself, my friend.
Whom have you then?
A profane who has to accept the Mason.
Why does he dare to hope for this?
Because he is a free man and of good motives.
Since it is so, he may pass, but only after being purified by fire. What esoteric meaning do you believe to have been made in this third of your voyages?
If I rest myself upon this order, I will find myself sheltered from the profanity of life and able to continue my pursuit.
Okay. Sir, this third voyage contained what the ancients called the chorus, pure. Baptism in water may be wonderful, but is not consecration through fire. Water purifies the body, but for the devil only air, the middle element of the universal energetic quarter, is suited for the purification. It is up to fire, the supreme element, occult and divine, to purify the soul, the divine principle in your life, an imperishable spark of your being. This third of your travels was made without any difficulties, without anything to interrupt the inner silence of your being. It is thus, and not by any other route, that you have arrived at the spiritual regions where there is only beauty, wisdom, and harmony. In a place where, still blinded, you press on, sensing the light which draws close. Two final ordeals await you to prove your devotion and sincerity to this order. Do you wish to submit to these two final ordeals? Sir, it is our custom to mark our new brothers with a seal from a hot iron upon the left arm. The esoteric paradigm of that seal is both to leave a distinct imprint in your skin, as well as an essential signature placed upon your etheric element. It is a manifestation, a tangible sign of the mystical pact that you have made with the forces of the unknown. Your animate and guide are on escort. One last time, do you consent to this?
You're going to brand me with a hot iron?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Since it is so, brother grand expert, will you mark the neophyte upon his arm with fire and the seal of our fraternity? Sir, I congratulate you on your privilege. Will you stay to complete the last ordeal?
Yeah.
How amazing. The solemn sermon which you will take, transcribed upon vellum as is our custom, and be signed in your blood. If you accept this necessary wound to be inflicted on your body, and that if need be in some remote time, you will not hesitate to shed voluntarily and joyously for the defense of masonry.
Okay.
In that case, brother grand expert, would you conduct the candidate to the cabinet of reflection and remain with him until the appointed time?
Draw blood from his coat. You might have to speak a little louder. You might have to increase your volume.
While Kenny uses the cabinet, there's the sound of a scuffle, followed by a scream. A cadaver with a bloody shirt is placed in the temple. So,
Maybe we should do it before the altar.
several of you brothers.
Because you don't want him to see what because the temple, he doesn't see the temple yet. All he sees is the body, so it's gotta be.
Up, cadaver, up. Sir, you see here before you that fatal end which we hold in reserve for traitors and betrayers of Masonry. If you still desire to enter and penetrate into our order with another hidden aim, I entreat you earnestly to reflect upon the sermon which you pronounce at this hour. Even if your brothers pardon you, the ritual curse placed upon you by the secret leaders of the order, the fatal forces of sadness, misery, dishonesty, and a violent death that will end your terrestrial life are what awaits you. And so I ask you to return to the cabinet of reflection and meditate upon the gravity of your situation and your desire to enroll in this lodge. Brother Grand Expert, would you conduct the candidate again to the cabinet of reflection, and leave him there until such time as he decides upon entering our order?
Sir, Master of the Guard, you conduct this incredible fool to the chamber of tortures. There, let the rack rent. We shall sup the final bit of dregs, and then return him hither to see if it has rent his spirits. These all must go through fully, one by one. You can't
Sir, since it is your will to become a Mason, and that you freely accept the consequences of this esoteric ritual on yourself and within yourself, you will then continue the slow assimilation into our august fraternity. Within the last hour, you drank the drop of oblivio, destined to depersonalize you, to remove from you all will. Here now, you are offered a second goblet, containing the essence of memory, the living waters of Namasan. When you drink this, your possessions and faculties will be absolute. The occult soul of Masonry will be passed on to you in entirety, just as the god of oblivion made you a dead man without will or volition. The water of Namasan will make you a militant Mason, a veritable child of the will. Do you care for a drink, sir?
Yes, I do.
Sir, I advise you to read the text of the traditional oath, which you will repeat at length here in front of this respected assembly, and under the symbols of the Grand Architect of the universe. Brother Grand Expert, please hold the left hand of the candidate upon the book of the law. Place your sword on his heart, and see that he repeats every word, and keeps his right arm elevated.
Oh, against that, I'm not
Are you supplicating anything? Or anyone?
why you think it on my knees.
There's our testament, we take and go.
Am I bound to anyone here?
No.
No.
Sir, word for word, repeat after me. I,
I, Nathan Howard,
in the presence of the Grand Architect of the universe,
in the presence of the Grand Architect of the universe,
and this respected lodge of Masonry,
and this respected lodge of Masonry,
do hereby promise and swear,
do hereby promise and swear,
on my honor as a free man,
on my honor as a free man,
solemnly and sincerely,
solemnly and sincerely,
and without mental restrictions of any kind,
and without mental restrictions of any kind,
never to reveal any of the secrets or mysteries of Masonry,
never to reveal any of the secrets or mysteries of Masonry
confided in me,
that are confided in me,
unless to a true and legitimate brother,
unless to a true and legitimate brother,
or in a lodge,
or in a lodge,
duly constituted by a Masonic triangle,
duly constituted by a Masonic triangle,
never to trace, engrave, or carve,
never to trace, engrave, or carve,
without authority of my ultimate superiors,
without authority of my ultimate superiors,
never to form any characters
never to form any characters,
by which the secret of secrets may be revealed,
by which the secret of secrets may be revealed,
under pain of having my body mutilated,
under pain of having my body mutilated,
and being dishonored,
and being dishonored,
by having my name engraven
by having my name engraven
on the pillar of infamy,
upon the pillar of infamy,
so that my corpse
so that my corpse
is buried beneath the sands of the sea,
is buried beneath the sands of the sea,
and the ebb and flow of the ocean
and the ebb and flow of the ocean,
takes me away into the abyss of forgetfulness.
and takes me away to the abyss of forgetfulness.
I promise and swear,
I promise and swear,
henceforth to consider
henceforth to consider
all Masons as my brothers,
all Masons as my brothers,
to protect, to aid, to assist in all their needs,
protect and aid and assist in all their needs,
spiritual as well as temporal.
spiritual as well as temporal.
I will from this day forth
I will from this day forth
shed all other teachings.
This is a joke, right?
Yeah.
Well, officially, yeah. This is part of those teachings, so.
Okay. Would you say it again?
Shed all other teachings
I will shed all other teachings
which I have received in order that which I have received
which I have received,
in order that the light
in order that the light
may illuminate me on the road of men and my brothers,
may illuminate me
on the road of men.
on the road of man and my brothers.
I will conduct myself
I will conduct myself
and treat others without distinction
and treat others without distinction
of social class,
of social class,
race,
race,
color,
color,
religion,
religion,
or nationality.
or nationality.
I will enforce upon myself
I will enforce upon myself
to be the shining example of all that is virtuous,
to be the shining example of all that is virtuous,
without vain desires of honor,
without vain desires of honor,
ambition, or vanity,
ambition, or vanity,
but with the sole aim
but with the sole aim
of aspiring to the highest
of aspiring to the highest
in all my endeavors.
in all my endeavors.
I will practice in all my endeavors
I will practice in all my endeavors
the humane fraternity
the humane fraternity
in all its amplitude
in all its amplitude
for showing its good works.
for showing its good works.
I will be the support of the weak,
I will be the support of the weak,
the adversary of the unjust,
the adversary of the unjust,
and the opponent of all unmerited violence.
and the opponent of all unmerited violence.
And in all these deeds,
And in all these deeds,
I swear and promise,
I swear and promise
always to aim my deeds
always to aim my deeds
toward the grand architect of the universe,
towards the grand architect of the universe,
whose aid I am in,
whose aid I am in,
through the living symbols I touch with my hand.
to the living symbols I touch with my hand,
In order that the invisible ether may conserve a trace of this engagement taking place here and now by this candidate, Brother Grand Expert, would you commit the document to the flame, so the signature may become eternal and impenetrable, the word may become faded or altered, but that committed to fire is everlasting. Because it is thus, let the light descend with the third knock of my mallet. In the name of the grand architect of the universe, and under the auspices of universal masonry, in the presence of this respected lodge of St. John, I receive and constitute you as an entered apprentice probationer.
Father First Warden, would you instruct our brother in the signed written word of our decree?
Sign, my brother, is given by making your hand to swear, and placing it to the left of your throat, and drawing across the throat. Sign, good. Good. Rest your hands, pressing your thumb on the first joint. The word Yakin.
Yachin. Yachin. Yachin.
My brother, it is an immemorial custom of masonry that those who you come to take the brothers offer you 2 pairs of gloves. Pair of these gloves. For one of these, you are destined. You will wear and consecrate them in the same manner as you see your fellow apprentices of this lodge wear. The second pair is for you to give to the woman whom you most cherish, not for her material beauty, but rather the woman who for you is the manifestation of the ultimate, your sister soul, your feminine ideal, the appearance in the material world of the eternal mother, the natura naturanda. There remains but one last rite to be accomplished. Our fraternity has taken up the charge of supporting a poor widow and her orphaned son. I ask that you keep secret all deeds done for this widow and her son. I ask that you accompany the grand expert to the cabinet of reflection and meditate upon the name of this widow and her son. It is hoped that after this ceremony that you have undergone, you will begin to understand the name of this widow and the importance of charity.
Who's the widow?
Yes.
All those that are in need of help from the Masons.
No, my brother, when I spoke of the widow and her son, I was not speaking of material people. For the widow and her son are merely allusions. The widow and her son are principal entities that Masonry claims to aid and to be the loyal servants of, are not of this world. At present, it is hoped that you have begun to see the duality of means. If you wish to see it as such for the time being, you may think of the widow as earth and her son as humanity. The goal of Masonry is to build a faraway heart where humanity grows and where it continues towards ineffable happiness. You have already conceived of the importance of the edification of the temple here and now, which is the immediate goal of Masonry, as is the double and the subtle plane, and in the spiritual regions, which is the erection of another temple, the mystical garden, that is the eternal kingdom which we call the eternal order. This temple is approached through and within ourselves, and it is our duty as Masons to erect and build. This may be seen in the teachings of the ancients in the phrase omnia ab uno, et in unum omnia. The building stones of this temple are our personalities. It depends, therefore, upon ourselves to carve and work the stone, so that they become the virtus moralis, intellectualis et spiritus. Brother First Ward, you have the word.
O yea, o yea, o yea, hear ye all, that brother Nathan Hammond is a welcomed entered apprentice in our lodge.
Ooza!
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 Very tall of your purpose. Then you put your sleeve up there. Because he is a free man and of good motives.
In that case, allow the profane to enter, but I invite and encourage the assembled brethren to take precautionary measures.
Sir, bow your head. The threshold of our lodge is very low.
Sir, the fraternity that you have demanded to be affiliated with, in confidence, is assembled here before you. But before you submit further to this ceremony of reception into our order, I demand that you keep secret all the names of the brothers and myself in your strictest silence. Swear to this, so this ceremony may either continue or be stopped at this instant, that you will never reveal the name of any brother to a parent, spouse, sibling, child, confessor, enemy, or friend who is not known within the lodge when properly timed. Do you swear to this?
I swear.
Sir, within this ancient body of occult and alchemical knowledge, the Masons have conserved an ancient and very secret draught, composed of spoonfuls of certain herbs, picked at precise times in the lunar cycle, worked and infused with certain other plants, and finally consecrated in the rite of eternity. This draught has the sole aim of depersonalizing you. Some weeks after its ingestion, inoffensive and unknown to your health and physique, your personality will begin to dissolve. Imperceptible throughout the days, you will begin to become another person. Slowly but surely, the outstanding qualities that guide and conduct our order will begin to penetrate and substitute those of your will. It will totally substitute your will on the anniversary of your reception. You will be in accordance with this ancient and occult formula, what is similar to a waiting cadaver. Do you consent to this death and your life passing?
No. No way. Okay.
You must consent in order to carry on the ceremony.
Can't do it.
Do we kill him now?
I think we should take him to the cabinet of reflection and put him there.
Okay.
Don't make a mess on the carpet.
However, since this is just an exercise, right?
Yeah.
In the name of an exercise, I want to see how this thing goes.
Well,
Well, then, that
I thought we were serious.
I will theoretically agree.
Ah,
Theoretically agreed. It's
Since
long
it is
as
so.
break it.
Brother Grand Expert, give the neophyte the draft of Oblivio. Sir, I congratulate you on your courage. Nevertheless, I must warn you that the ordeals that you will undergo are of a twofold nature, more subtle than immediately realized and far more durable. It is therefore not only your physical courage that must be called upon, but also your audacious morality and inner constitution. You are upon the threshold that surmounts time, and from which there is no turning back. As the ancients have stated, there is nothing that has no cost. But you must ignore that which it costs. One more time, sir. Do you wish to continue through this ceremony?
Theoretically, yes.
In that case, theoretically, you are a candidate of this first theoretical voyage.
Whom have you there?
A profane must be accepted into our order,
Why does he dare to hope for this?
because he is a free man and of good will.
Since it is so, he may pass, but only after being purified with water.
My brothers, I ask you on behalf of our most venerable master, if you have anything to report in the interest of Masonry or this lodge in particular.
My brothers, I ask you on behalf of our most venerable master, if you have anything to report in the interest of Masonry or this lodge in particular.
Most venerable master, the announcement has been circulated and the columns remain silent.
Brother First Warden, What is the mission of our most ancient order?
Most venerable master, it is the building of the foundation and base of the Temple of Wisdom. It also allows the Masons of Egypt to operate the cult of the grand architect of the universe, working its rites and employing its symbols.
Brother Second Warden, what are the keys of our most ancient religion, as understood in the words of modern religion?
Most venerable master, the keys are the same as in modern religion: duty, integrity, and conscience. Such is the religion of the Masons.
In effect, then, my brothers, and in a better manner of honoring the grand architect of the universe, it is the duty of Masons to act in all instances of action and thought in the world of man as a man of duty, with complete fidelity toward the grand architect and his supreme law. It is further through his conscience that man realizes that he is divine, and as such must act accordingly. Brother First Warden, this order has been perpetuated up to this day in the hearts of Masons, working in the land of Memphis.
Most venerable master, the brethren who now toil in the shadow of the Pillar of the North and under the sun at noon are now perpetuating the fraternal works of the square and compass for the good of all that is.
Brother First Warden, how long do the apprentice Masons work in the Temple of Wisdom?
From noon to midnight, most venerable master.
Brother Second Warden, what is the hour?
Most venerable master, it is now midnight, and night reigns over the land of Egypt, and the stars of night bathe their light over the temple and the sanctuaries of sleep.
Since it is midnight, the hour that the apprentice Masons cease labors, join with me, my brothers, so that we may proceed with the closing of our mystical undertaking.
Brothers, who stand beneath the columns of the north and noon, stand and come to order, so that we may salute our most venerable master.
Fraternal salutations, my brothers, to all who come to stand beneath the columns and stand before this orient. Receive thus the kiss of peace.
Knock your hat off.
Right, yes.
Right cheek, left cheek. Nameless.
That's not a Fez boy.
So an Ohio Buckeye script. Not sure that's
Sovereign Essence, whom we invoke under 100 diverse names, Eternal Architect, Conductor of all the worlds, in this temple and toward you solely and with rising hearts of fidelity, at this moment, be here present as we suspend our labors, and permit that we may part the veils of error, untruthfulness, and prejudice. Enlighten our souls as you enlighten our work, so that we may one day be suitable to you, that the living fire of true masonry may one day enable us to catch a glimpse of the perfect plan of your wisdom, and that before the candle flames are extinguished, deposit within our hearts the fire of your essence and power. Architect eternal, may your wisdom always dwell within our spirits. May your force be our sole sustenance. May your beauty be our guide. May the word of truth inscribed in this book ever be etched in our hearts. mysterious and ineffable manifestation of whom our masters of antiquity honored upon the sands of Memphis. Continuous and eternal power, elevate our spirits to the heights of your principle in all its manifestations and forms. My brothers, will you now form a chain of fraternity and turn to face the Orient? Rejoice, my brothers. Our work has been loyally accomplished. Grand architect of the universe, enforce upon us the drive each day to strive nearer toward your perfection. Fortify in our hearts the radiance of your nearness and the sentiments of your work, as we dedicate ourselves to the service of your truth, which is singular and immutable, and is the same as that which our assemblies serve, and affirm in the fraternal union and our individual volitions toward your semblance. That we will always stay in our peace and truth, and that this fraternal chain will always be strong, and nothing will undermine or weaken it. Amen. My brothers, it is the supreme peace of the world. It is an infinite beauty which originates and returns to the central point of the universe. It is a peace which never ceases to touch all that lives, and in which all light finds substance. May this wisdom enlighten you. May this force elevate and support you, and may this peace always be with you. Brother First Warden, the moment has arrived for all Masons of Egypt to separate and each return to his home.
The moment has arrived, most venerable master.
My brothers, come to order. In the glory of the grand architect of the universe, and under the auspices of the Grand Orient, of the antique and primitive rite of Memphis Mizraim, and by the power conferred by my office, I declare suspended the labors of this respected lodge. Liberty! Equality!